You can find a link for all the code to this in the description below. You can clone it or download it. I suggest just download it and keeping it for yourself. Throw it in a components folder, and you got a animated navbar that you can use anytime you want. All right, guys, that's why I'm doing this. Hope you guys are grabbing these components. All right, anyway, today what we have here is the navbar where you click on it. Menu's going to slide over to this spot. It's going to morph over to close. The links are going to stagger in. They are going to be icons, and if you hover on the icons, they're going to change into the text of what they are. So let me just show you that quick. This may look familiar to people who've done a couple of my other ones. I'd use it. I just kind of added a couple little things to one of the navbars I use in a different tutorial, but check it out here. So when you click on it, and you can do this opposite where you start with the text and go to icon. But I prefer that because I want people to go, well, what is that? Oh, that's code. Then they can head on over, and it works, slides over, boom, 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 boom. All right, well, let's see what's going on here. Okay, this is just a Gatsby starter. You can do this code will work the next. This will work in Create React App. It's all the same code, the components and the pages. Obviously, in Create React App, you would need routing and navigation. This comes with it. That's why I recommend using a Gatsby starter. You can find that at gatsbyjs.org. Go to install. Let's see what I got here. And I do have a video that shows how to install, I believe, under Animate with React folder, something along those lines. You can check it out. The only thing I did here besides using the straight up starter is I put in style components so that we can style locally, and GSAP obviously for the animation, and I believe that's it. Oh, and React icons because I do use icons. Other than that, it is just the Gatsby starter. All right, let's see what I got here. And under pages, excuse me guys, I probably got COVID. Well, I probably shouldn't joke around. I created 5 pages. Blogs, code, contact, design are all the exact same thing. It is just a React component. Import React, created my arrow function, and returned some JSX wrapped in a layout component. I used the style components to name this div a style div so that I could use CSS inside this JavaScript file instead of having an external style sheet. Everything here, this is called styling locally, and then I exported it. I did that for every single one. The only thing different is the H1. Contact, blah, blah, blah. Hope you get it. Now, every page is wrapped in a layout component. Well, let's go over and take a look at layout, which is a special component that you wrap all your pages in, and everything that's within layout will get transferred over to your pages. Now, in layout, again, it is just a React component. Nothing special really about it. It is imported React. I created a arrow function, and I'm returning a different component or JSX, and then I'm exporting it to use. Well, the only thing in here is a navbar, so let's go take a look at what we got. Well, here's a navbar. Again, it's just a React component. Here's imported React. Here is my arrow function for navbar. I did import GSAP because that is needed for the animation because it's done in GSAP. I did import styled components because, well, we're going to style it locally. These imports are from React icons. Those are just the icons I use. And then I imported a link instead of using an anchor tag. It's the exact same thing. It's just it's a core feature of Gatsby for really fast internal navigation. Okay, before we take a look at the GSAP, so here is my arrow function, and that is going to return, well, this. Wrap, which if anyone who watches my videos knows is just a style div. So this is just a div that contains a div and a navbar. The top div has 2 buttons. One is close, one is menu. Although you don't see close here, and you'll find out why. You only see it when menu's done and the animation is done. That will make sense in a second if it does not. Then I have a nav, which is just a ordered list with list items that each list item contains a link. That link is a button that has a span, that has a icon in it. Okay, well, let's just talk about the actual JSX. Okay, well, the parent div is just fixed, top 0, left 0, index. I did it with 17.5, so when it opens up, it's 17.5. That's great on most screen size. You might want to put a media query down there for anything under 768, 767. You might want to put it to 50% VW for the wrap. Okay, then I have a nav, with 0, if you're wondering what that is, and with this, because you can't see it until the animation starts. So what we do is the animation is going from 0 to 100. That is technically what the animation is. So when we start, we want it at 0. Just height, background, same thing, blah, blah, blah. The UL, same thing, 100% height. Just did the list item stuff, typical styling, obviously flexed it. So we get the icons or list items to line right up. I use an Annie button just to give it these buttons style, because there are buttons in here. If I just wrote button, well, crazy shit would happen, because these buttons are used for links and these buttons are used for an on-click function. So I just gave it an Annie button link, class name, and did it that way. And here my links, the links span, same shit. Nothing you really need to know in there that you can't understand from looking at it, I would hope. Like before, I did left top, I commented that out and did left top this way, because in this way the animation runs on the x-axis. If you were to switch those, the animation runs, the icon goes down and the words come down from the top, and then you would just change this transform here. Right now it's translate X. If you wanted them to go vertically, you would just do the translate Y. So you would uncomment that and uncomment this and uncomment that, and you would comment that out, and comment those two out, and you would have an opposite transition effect. The text and content for the actual button. Now, anyone that knows me knows I normally do a links array up here and just map through everything. I didn't want to convolute it. I wanted people to just be able to see it. If you want to do that, perfectly fine. I would just put the content that is, why the hell am I doing that? The content that is down here in the array, along with the path and the name. If that doesn't mean anything to you, take a look at Navbar number 1 and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so next what do? Well, we are using GSAP, so we create a variable, a const, which is just a variable, TL, which is a GSAP timeline. Use effect hook, and we drop our 2 timelines in here. We got one for the animation for the nav and one for an animation for the buttons. I'll go over this in 1 second. Now, GSAP comes with something really cool. They have a couple of methods. One's called play and reverse. When you're using buttons, you can use reverse or play. Well, that's cool, because when we click on menu, we want this animation to rock out, right? We want that to play. And then when that morphs back over and we click on close, we want it to go in reverse. So that's perfect for what we're doing right here. So we drop a couple on clicks in there, and this is beautiful. We get to pause true. So when the page first renders, the animation's not going to start automatically. And without using an intersection observer and all of that shit, or any special timing functions, we just get to hit pause. And until that button is clicked and someone actually wants to open a menu, we get it. Think of like a toggle switch. Same damn thing is going on here. Okay, well, what do we got here? Well, when they click play, the play button, well, 2 things are going to happen. First, the nav and the button box are going to go from with 0 to. So 2, this is where we want this animation to go. We want it to go to, and we put in the class names of the elements we're talking about and the duration, and then what we want to happen. Well, when it starts, we want it to go to with 100. So we want it to open up. Okay, perfect. And we put an ease on it. Okay, well, now here we want it, because it's paused, we want it to go from opacity 0. This starts from initial, where we initially positioned it in our CSS, and goes to this state. Here we want to go from this state to our initial. And obviously we didn't put anything on LI, so it's understood the opacity is 1. So we're going to go from 0 and from -125 to, well, 1 into wherever we positioned it, which we use Flexbox for that, so we know where it's going to end up. And we backed away 125. So it's going to slide in and go full opacity on us. Now, the other thing that happens at the same time, but not because these go linear, that happens before this, because they're chained together. This is a different timeline. So that happens, and then this. And these start at the same time, this one and this one, but this goes before that, and this goes before that. Hope that makes sense. If not, leave me a message. I'll try to get back to you. So, when we hit the menu button, hit play, and the animation starts, we're going to take that close button, and we're going to go from display none. And that's where it is on pause, too, by the way. Display none, and it's going to go from there, and it's going to show. And at the exact same time, or literally 0.05 seconds away, we're going, the open, which is shown, is going to go to display none with a delay of a negative 0.10 of a second. So it beats this. I hope you understand. I want the menu to go over, disappear a tenth of a second before this close appears. So I hope that makes sense. And that, I think, is all you need to understand. But like I say, so just grab this, use it, man. It's a great little nav to use. Pretty cool. You can do what you want. You know, obviously you can go get different icons or have it start with the text. Go to that. Well, I hope the walkthrough helps you guys understand it. If not, again, ask me any questions. I'll get back to you. All right, take it easy, guys. Enjoy that quarantine. It's beautiful here in Connecticut, and I'm getting my ass outside.